Ever since the success of Hades and Enter the Gungeon, it seems as though every game you click on Steam is some take on a roguelite. And so is the video that you clicked on today about Roboquest, an FPS roguelite that absolutely scratches the itch of enjoyable, fast-paced, high-octane robot destruction. But before we talk about why this game is a breath of fresh air, let's paint the picture of the story. In simple terms, Roboquest is about a young scavenger girl named Max trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world where evil AI robots are taking over. Amidst her efforts, she comes along an old guardian robot abandoned in the sand, reactivates him, and goes on with her journey to defeat the evil robots to save humanity with her new metal friend by her side. Deeper story can be given to the player through data logs that are found around different levels. These give lore to the player if they are willing to read, which is a cool addition. I'm always hesitant though to this system because it reminds me of Destiny's old Grimoire cards where you would have to go online to get the actual lore of the game. But Roboquest does it all included in the client with short, palatable entries, which I do enjoy. Shifting to the gameplay Roboquest delivers though, yes, it is a roguelite, meaning that if you die, you have to restart from the very beginning of the game, but with a little more power than you did before, which helps you push a little further. Naturally, this feels very fun and addicting when it's the first time you play through the game, which is why it is such a popular genre. The game builds upon this genre though, giving the player multiple classes to unlock to drastically change the way the player can approach each run with different abilities without disrupting the basic makeup of the game too much. There are hundreds of weapons to choose from, which adds to the agency the player gets to express with each and every run as well. My personal favorite build type is to make a critical build with the kunais, as their crit multiplier is naturally higher and it just feels so good. Another favorite is running a build with infinite ammo and a fast-firing windmill rifle doing auto-critical cryo damage. This probably means nothing to you now, but understand that the thing that makes this game so good is that the builds can get absolutely silly, and it is an absolute blast. In terms of level design, it feels really good when you first play through the game, with secret levels all having their own little gimmicks and every mainline world having different objectives to clear them. I found it really interesting that there are 3 different starting paths from the first level that a player can take, all with their own unique advantages. For example, the Oasis gives the player legendary powers, while the Quarry and Ruins focus on giving the player more level up perks. Depending on how you look at it though, both of these options can make or break a run, which is super fun and changes it up. Aside from the roguelite elements, the gunplay feels fast, the movement is fluid, and the game feels responsive. Each build the player makes can work if they go about it right, which gives a high degree of agency and enjoyment as a result. There are tons of different difficulties too, which really boosts the accessibility of Roboquest, something that is important in my opinion that doesn't get discussed a bunch. The game feels like Ultra Kill if it were more welcoming to new players who have never played an FPS before. It is fast, extremely fun, and even allows you to play with friends, or brobots as they are called in the game. While a solid gameplay loop is important, exceptional music and stunning graphics make or break it within games where you are running through the same levels over and over again. So let's discuss how Roboquest crushes it. Starting with what you can see on screen, I absolutely love the cheeky comic book art style. This is one of the best executions of visual art styles I have ever seen in a video game because it thematically looks pretty but also fits with the feel of the game. The game doesn't want you to think too much about the stakes at hand or the problems you have in your life. It makes you want to enjoy yourself as you are shredding through hordes of robots. It doesn't really need to be any deeper than that, and I love it. The music is absolutely incredible though. Every level has its own feel visually, but most certainly auditorily as well. Each and every track is an absolute banger without a doubt, with my personal favorite being the last level on the moon. When the player spawns in, the track mysteriously creates an extraterrestrial ambience that is somewhat unsettling but signals that this is the end of the journey for the player, making the upcoming fight feel absolutely insane. When the fights do actually occur, it encapsulates the chaos of each room and makes each battle feel close and epic, even if your build is absolutely insane and you are decimating your enemies. As far as I know, there are no repeating motifs between boss battles, but again, this is what fits with the theme of the game. It doesn't have to be incredibly deep. It just has to scratch that itch and be extremely fun robot blasting chaos. But as I played on, listened to more and more of the soundtrack, completed each and every level, S-ranked Guardian 4 the hardest difficulty, and finished all the achievements, I realized that something just was not there that I wanted and couldn't put my finger on. Don't get me wrong, the game feels incredibly good. The builds are insane, and for anyone that doesn't have any past professional experience in a game that is very similar to Roboquest, Overwatch, I am sure it would take them much longer than 25 hours to do all this. But to me, it just felt like it was over so fast. It is not fair to compare Roboquest to a masterpiece like Hades, but I now understand why Hades was so successful. The story of a roguelite really gives it the charm of playing again and again to try different builds, because there is always something at the end that is different. With Roboquest, nothing changes. You are always going to be killing Iris in the end, again and again. In Hades, sure, you are killing Hades, but what lies beyond changes the story every time, which is so refreshing. That being said, Roboquest still innovates on the roguelite genre in a fresh and exciting way. This is the first successful FPS roguelite that I know of, and it will remain as a staple in a lot of people's Steam libraries. I know that I'm going to log in to warm up before I play tournament games of Overwatch, and will enjoy it further later as well. I'm just sad that I did it all so fast. From an amazing atmosphere to a satisfying game loop, I give Roboquest a 9 out of 10. Most players are going to get absolutely sucked into this game without a doubt. It is so fun for the first time you play before you beat it, but what holds it back from being legendary is the lack of replayability once the game is beaten through story, upgrades, and lack of extensive content. But to be honest, that is a really good problem to have, and that is why this rating is justified. So if you were on the fence, give Roboquest a try. It is definitely worth it. What do you all think of Roboquest? Do you love it, hate it, never even want to play it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for the support on the channel recently as well. I have my eyes set on the first 1,000 subscribers for this channel, and I'm super excited that you have all been liking the content over here more. If there is something you want me to cover, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Discord or in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching, but until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.